Alike. Welcome to Play Some Video Games, the official podcast of PSVG, PlaySomeVideoGames.com, and we welcome you to this Xbox pre-E3 show. Joining me tonight to discuss our hopes and dreams, our aspirations, and what we want from Microsoft this year is none other than Josh. How are you doing tonight?
I'm back.
Oh, that's right. Your hiatus, I guess, has ended now. So welcome back.
Now I'm back.
And also joining us is the newly appointed master, Q.
That's right. Lovorigan.
How's it been, man? It's been too long since I've talked to you.
I know. I just said that. I said Lovorigan, and I start tearing up a little bit. So I don't know what. It's been good. It's been a busy past month. So hopefully this summer I'll be a little bit more available to do more content and be on the show and just play more games.
That's what it's all about. Playing some video games, right?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So as we mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, this show is not going to have news. It's not going to have a weekly roundup of what we've been doing, what we've been playing. We're going to go straight into what we want from Xbox this year at E3 2017. And gentlemen, before we go into our discussion, Xbox, in my opinion, is poised to come out swinging for this event. I think that they've got a lot of stuff up their sleeves, and I am excited to hear what you guys think. What are your overall thoughts going into tonight?
Man, well, I can kick it off. Going to tonight, I think Xbox has a lot of potential for the upcoming year. This E3 is going to set the tone for sales in the fall. It's going to set the tone for not just the gaming community that cares mostly about the games, but it's going to set the tone for the more moderate gamers who, care about the games, but they also care about, what else do I do with my Xbox, right? My Xbox is not just a gaming system, but it's an entertainment system. I run all my TV through it. I run all my entertainment through it. So I think it's going to set the tone for the next year. I think they're in a great spot. It's up to my man Phil Spencer to keep the ball rolling. Hail to the Chief.
What about you, Josh?
I kind of feel the same way as Q. I mean, my Xbox is kind of my all-in-one entertainment device. It's kind of evolved as the Xbox has. It started off as my gaming console, just my competition for my PS2, PS3 at the time, and every generation it kind of gets a little bit more into my lifestyle, which is really why I like Microsoft so much. So I'm excited to see what's on the horizon for Xbox and see what they're gonna push and introduce onto us next. Maybe push is a bad word. Introduce next. But it's an exciting time for me. Q's on the optimistic side. I'm on the cautiously optimistic side. I do think though they need to crush E3. I think they will, but they really need to get back up at the front of the race and show that they can compete with all these pretty PlayStation's had a pretty fantastic past 6 months. Mm-hmm. and as an Xbox guy, that's not always fun to be living in the shadow of. It's like Microsoft and Apple. It's kind of like people are on one side of the issue. When you're not on the side where everyone's loving life, you feel left out a little bit. So I want people to be jealous of us.
They're already jealous.
That third week of June.
I want to touch on what Josh just said, because even though I'm not a man of jealousy, I will say that seeing the success of Zelda and Nintendo and seeing the success of Horizon on PlayStation 4 kind of got me riled up, in the sense of like, not jealousy, like I want those games, but I want Xbox to have its moment in the sunlight, right? I want Xbox to be like, to show up with its flag and Phil Spencer to be like, what the, and just like claim the mountain. And I want that. I want that moment where I'm just beating my chest and I'm like, yeah, hail to the chief, you know? So I definitely feel how Josh is feeling right now.
Yeah, well, let's get into it, right? So what is one thing as far as a game that you want to see on the Xbox stage this E3? Let's throw it to you, Q. What's the one thing that you need to see?
I need to see those games that have been in development for a long time and they just need to get out of the oven, right? I need to see some Crackdown and I need to see Sea of Thieves because I was really excited for those games 2 years ago. And at this point, Xbox is looking like PlayStation when they announced the game at E3.
Not that
and then
bad.
it takes 2 complete gaming cycles and financial cycles to get a game out of the oven. And it's like, all right, Crackdown 3 is supposed to be this open world multiplayer experience. Sea of Thieves is supposed to be this potentially multi-platform system that they're building. Well, I want to see that. I want to see that out. For me, those first-party games are going to set a tone for the fall, and we need to see them. We need to see release dates. We need to see like full content, not beta content, not alpha content. We need to see real gold content, and that needs to be out there.
Now, I think that we will see for sure. Sea of Thieves is in an alpha right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that'll release this year. But, you know, Crackdown's the mystery, right? We've seen the developer tweet out, like, hey, COD3. What's that mean? What does that mean, COD3? Are we going to actually be able to see the game being played, like you said, the gold content? Or is it going to be more the alpha stage? So that's an awesome couple of games there to see. What about you, Josh?
You know, the thing I like about Microsoft is they don't always put their cards out on the table so you can see what's coming. So I kind of like not knowing what's coming up, but I would like to see some stuff that takes advantage of the rare license that they have. Like maybe put something out that people aren't expecting. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a redo of an old IP. Maybe something new that they've been working on under the covers for a couple of years. But that's kind of like, that's the Nintendo in me still. Like I'm a old school rare guy, and for me, I'm very disappointed in what they've done with the license so far. So I'd like to see something that kind of impresses me or blows me away as far as that goes. I'm with Q on that too. Like, I mean, Cuphead, what is it? Is it ever going to come out? This is a game I was excited about. And I do feel like they kind of became like that Sony idea that people would have of Sony just releasing release dates and not games, like Scalebound canceled, Crackdown 3, who knows what. Cuphead's been at the past 3 E3s. I know it's just an arcade title, but it's something that they had my interest. I probably would have paid $20 for it when it was announced, and I don't know what the game's going to look like. Is it going to hold up? I don't know if I'm going to want to spend that kind of money now. It's kind of like a Last Guardian situation. So Sea of Thieves is, I know, I don't even know if we can say someone has been playing the alpha and has loved it. But I guess you're not allowed to release that info, so I'm not going to name any names. But that's a very niche game. Like, it's very focused on multiplayer. It's not going to necessarily be a game that is accessible to everybody. So as cool as it is and as awesome as it looks, we'll see what they put out. But I don't know. I don't have anything like, I'm excited for Crackdown. I loved Crackdown 1 and 2. I thought they were great games. But I don't have anything that I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for specifically. I think that for me, that's the conference as a whole. That gets me excited. That gets me worked up because they put on a show like no other one does. And in that aspects, I've never been disappointed by a Microsoft E3, regardless of what's come after it.
Okay, fair enough. For me, I mean, we know Sea of Thieves and Crackdown are going to be there. They have to be. Like I said, I think they're going to be coming out this year. I think they're going to do really great for Xbox and for the console as a whole. But, it's the things that are unannounced, right? I think that it would be interesting to see what they do to maybe dredge up an original IP, because there's been discussions for a long time by Microsoft. They've been polling people to be like, hey, what are these what are some of our classic IPs that you want to see again? I always say Crimson Skies, right? Crimson Skies, give me more. It's so good. But I don't think we're going to see that. But I do think that we're going to see something from them from the past. It's hard to say what it would be. I mean, Mech Warrior would be fantastic to come out again. And that's a perfect Windows 10 / Xbox One title. It lives on PC. It also could translate really well to Xbox and have that crossplay compatibility. I think we see something in their lineage come back, and something that it's going to be really fun to play again. I don't know exactly what game it would be, but the two games that I always want to see are Mech Warrior, Mech Assault, or Crimson Skies. But what I really think would be amazing if they show off on their Xbox stage would be, either a Star Wars game, one of the Star Wars games that we know is coming out in the next year and a half, or Red Dead Redemption. I think if they can show either of those on their stage, they're going to capture that mind share, and then it's going to be off to the races for them for this year.
I think if I may touch on something that Josh brought up really fast, the idea of Rare putting something together. Like if you look around, if you search around the internet, a lot of people are hyping up, hey, what if Rare gets Fable? What if Rare gets handed the golden mantle and gets the Fable contract? I mean, I don't know. Some people, Donnie, really want that to happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, wouldn't it be fantastic if Rare came back in a big way? But after Rare Replay, I don't know what they're working on. Does anybody know what they're working on?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if they get that project, because that's it. Like, what else are they working on?
Mm-hmm.
So
that'd be nice.
They've just been working on content for Killer Instinct.
That's true.
Which still exists. It's still a thing. It's just I don't know. It's just not for me. I was really excited for that, being an old Killer Instinct guy, and all it really did was make me go out and buy a SNES copy of the game after it came out, because I was just craving that like OG Killer Instinct vibe.
Mm-hmm.
This one's I don't know if you played it. It feels, if something can feel bulky while you're playing it, that's what this game feels like. It feels like an encumbered mess. Like I need something smooth, like Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, which we'll probably see. Maybe not on the Xbox stage, but we'll definitely see it at E3. That's what I need. So I don't know. I have a feeling that they're going to announce Season 3 for Killer Instinct, though.
Yay, exciting. Season 3 of the same game.
Do either of you guys play that game? I personally don't. I don't like it very much.
Yeah, I mean, I have both seasons, and I enjoy it for what it is, but it's not something when people come over to play fighting games that we pop on. Because it's not accessible to everybody. It's a challenging fighting game. Like you can't pick that game up like you can pick up a regular fighting game and mash buttons and enjoy it. You have to sit down, practice combos, and learn the game. So it's definitely its own beast.
Yeah, I don't know. Not for me. Although I'm not a huge fighter fan. The only fighters that I like are the ones that have DC characters or Marvel characters in them. So I guess I'm not really that dynamic for that. All right. The big elephant in the room, we know going into this conference, we know a little bit about it already, is Project Scorpio. So that leads us to, a few kind of questions along the line of Scorpio that we don't know. First off, what's the release time? What's the price? And what's the official name going to be? So, Josh, what do you think? What's the answer to those three questions? When do you think it's coming? What's the price do you think it's going to be? And then what's the official name?
All right. So I'm not going to go with what I want it to be. I'm going to go with what I think it's going to be. I think it'll come out November 17th-ish. Right around that release window of all the Xbox consoles. We're looking at $699.
Oh, dang.
That's a bit harsh.
Ooh, I don't agree with it, but I think that it could drop eventually, but I think that we're looking at $699. To hit on it just a little bit, I think they'll justify it at the presentation. I think there's still stuff that they're not releasing that will justify it for the right people. I just had a kid. I'm not the right people right now for that, but there are, a core group of gamers who, that's Microsoft's, market. That's their sweet spot. So those guys are on board. I don't know about name. I mean, they could just stick with Scorpio. It's pretty well known out there already. It's not going to be Microsoft Xbox Pro. It's not going to be Microsoft. I mean, whatever. I don't know. Who knows what it's going to be? Let's go. I'm going to just go Xbone. That's what it's going to be.
I don't think they're going to call it Xbone. Q, what do you think?
I got you, man. I got this. November 21st, 2017, a week before Thanksgiving, $449 final price. $449 above the PS4 Pro, right? Because PS4 Pro is $400, right? Am I right on that now? On that one?
Yeah, I think it's $399.
Okay, okay, fine. $399. $449, and then I'm sure there'll be maybe some deals out there where it drops close to the PS4 Pro for that Black Friday weekend. I don't know. This is the name for this is gonna be the name right here. All right. This is the Kingmaker, the Omni Xbox, or the Ox. The Ox. Because it's a workhorse. That thing is gonna have so much power behind it. It's a freaking Ox. The Omni Xbox, but no one's gonna call it the Omni Xbox. It's gonna be called the Ox, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like and you know what? It's gonna have an industrial look to it. Yeah, it'll have it'll look sleek, and it'll be nice. It'll have some the aesthetics are gonna be cool, but it's gonna have an industrial blue collar feel to it. You're gonna buy and be like, this thing can like launch nukes. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be called the Ox, November 21st, 2017, $449. Get yours today. Boom.
The Xbox Ox. That's not a fumble of words, is it?
I like that though. The Ox. I like that. So for me, it's gonna release in November. I think early November. I think that usually is kind of the timing for them. They like to go early November, although they could surprise everybody and say, hey, September, come get it. But I think it's going to be a November purchase for me, a release date. And as far as the price goes, I was right there with you, Q. $450, put it $50 above the PS4 Pro, or up to $500. That's the range that I think that they need to hit if they want to be a success. For me, $449 is a no-brainer, and I think you're going to get a lot of people that just go to the store and see, oh wow, the most powerful console is $50 more than this one. Yeah, I'll get that. Why not?
Packaging goes a long way. Packaging man.
Goes
Put
a
it
long way.
right there. The most powerful console. Boom.
Most powerful console. You throw in Halo 5 Guardians. It's going to run in beautiful 4K 60. Arguably still the best multiplayer on the console, and it's I think that's a good game. I mean, you put an iconic game like a Halo game, or even the whole Master Chief Collection with it. You put it at $450 or $500. I don't think you can put an Elite controller in at that price, though. I think you're going to get a standard controller, like the S controller that came with, just like this new redesigned controller. I don't think you're going to get a Pro or an Elite controller. But yeah, it comes with that. And my name, and this is just because of the Microsoft's history with their Windows naming schemes. It's either going to be because they've already used the Elite, they can't use the Pro because PlayStation's already got it. So they're either going to be the Xbox One Ultimate or Ultimate Xbox One, or Xbox One Signature if you want to get fancy.
You
like that? signature.
I like
Everyone has a
signature.
printed Bill Gates logo on it or Phil Spencer logo.
Oh, nice. What if you can pay like extra $25, get it engraved? Oh, in laser engravement. Oof. Oof.
Oh man,
I'm
that just adds a
shaking.
whole nother
I'm
layer of
shaking. I'm
amazing.
shaking, man. Woo.
I mean, it'd be so cool, right? I think that if they launch this game, they need to put something in the box to say this is why you want this 4K console. They need to put something in there. I think Halo's a great fit. Forza is a great fit. Put one of those games in there, and they've got a good idea going for them. Plus, I think Forza Horizon 3, you put that, or Forza Motorsport 6 even, maybe, I'm not sure. But that's a Play Anywhere title, so they could easily tie into, here's a digital copy of this game, here's the amazing console that you want. But hey, if you're a hardcore PC guy too and you have a great PC, check it out over there. Compare the two, and you tell us which is a better experience. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, I think those are the big ones for Scorpio. Anything else on the side of Scorpio that you think is something that they're going to bring to the table? Because we already know the specs, the technological specs, rather. I think that it's going to be, a good showcase for them to show something, though.
I don't think they're going to show a lot, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be either an opening or a closing spot. But they focus on games. Maybe they'll show a lot of Scorpio games or games running on Scorpio or however they're going to manage that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they pull a Nintendo and do a separate thing for the Scorpio console separately, maybe even during E3, because this is on a Sunday before E3 starts.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me, but I think I don't see them spending a lot of time on the console itself, because you run the risk of also losing some people to their impression of boring content, and they don't do that a lot. They don't go out and do the Reggie thing where they point to graphs and pie charts on the screen. Phil comes out there and he's like, "Wasn't that trailer awesome? All right, check out this one. Now here's Jade Raymond at Ubisoft." So that's what he does. So I feel like he'll go out and he'll talk a little bit about Scorpio, but he's going to focus. They're going to focus on showing content.
Mm-hmm.
Can I disagree a little bit? Not full disagreement, but I think this is what I think. They're gonna, what they did at Eurogamer or at what was the oh my god the
German one,
the one in Germany.
Yeah,
Gamescom.
No, like the ones that did the insider story on the Scorpio like a month ago.
I know who you're talking about.
They're underneath Eurogamer. That's what I'm getting at. Anyway, they talked in the story about how they assembled the Scorpio right there in front of them, and then they ran it right there. How cool would it be? I think it would be a super cool fanboy moment if they bring out an engineer and right there with Phil Spencer on stage, they assemble the Scorpio right there.
How long it would take?
No. Okay, fine. I don't know, but if it's reasonably like, if it's doable, it would be cool to assemble it, run it. Obviously, you have a backup machine in the back. Obviously, you don't want to, it breaks down right there on stage. They always have those backups in behind. I'm just saying it would be really cool if it's doable and not super boring to see one assembled on stage. That would just be, for me, that would be like, I would be like, oh, this is really cool. This is how it happens. That's it.
I don't think you get one assembled on stage, but maybe I think you get a montage video of them putting one together, like, in a quick succession.
That's just as good for me. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I think to add on to Josh's point, I do think that they open up the conference with a Scorpio trailer. They opened up the conference last year with a Xbox One S trailer. So this year we know Scorpio is already coming. Everybody, it's on the mind. They're going to come out and give you like a 5-minute trailer. It's going to be a very Apple-esque where they talk about, oh, this is the most beautiful console. We've done this and this. And it's going to be 7,000 teraflops and all this jazz. So they're going to come out. They're going to impress you with the trailer. They're going to show you scenes, of games that we know and love, footage from Scorpio device, or whatever they want to call it at that point. Maybe they'll call it whatever. But I think that they open the conference with that montage. 5 minutes, Phil walks out and be like, and you guys are going to be able to play it on November whatever, and it's going to cost you $400. He comes out there, he drops the mic early. early. Josh, if it
Yes.
comes out at $400, are you getting it?
If it comes out at $400, he should just walk off the stage after he says it, because that would be crazy.
He's like, and you get an Xbox Scorpio, and you get an
Yeah.
Xbox Scorpio, and you get an Xbox Scorpio. Everybody gets Xbox Scorpios here today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See,
I
I
can see
think that if they could do that, right? If they can come out at 400 or even 450, it's a mic drop. They're going to be able to walk off the stage, like you said, and just say, "Conference is over. Go check out the games that are over there playing on Scorpio right now."
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great.
It becomes a PS Pro killer, right? At that point, it's like if you own a PS4, you know, and you think about upgrading or buying a newer system, why buy a PS4 Pro to play the same games that you can play on the PS4? Might as well just go ahead and buy an Xbox Scorpio, and then you expand your library to those other games on a much powerful console. If the price is compatible, you basically kill PlayStation's newest system. So
as long as they have the games to back that up, though.
well, what I'm getting at is that if you have a PS4 already and you want to
Right.
just add another console to your inventory, why buy a Pro? Just buy the other stuff that's not that you don't have access to right now. But yeah,
Right.
And I mean, definitely make no mistake, Microsoft, this is their nuclear option, right? They're coming out there. This is what they want to do. They want to come out there and lay it on the table and be like, I have the ultimate hand. You cannot beat this. And they're going to have it with hardware that we've already seen that. But like you said, Josh, they got to back it up with those games. So that brings us into our next kind of topic, right? We know what we know of the Xbox exclusives that are coming out. Sea of Thieves is going to be huge, and we're going to see Crackdown this year. I guarantee it. It's going to look great. It's going to look fantastic. It's going to be the best Crackdown you've ever seen. And the other thing, though, the other factor is these third parties, that third-party support. There's a lot of third parties out there that are going to want to get in on this 4K action, the 60 frame per second promise of 4K 60 FPS on a console. So you got EA, you've got Ubisoft, you got all these people looking at this. Which third party will be the big partner, the big get that Xbox is going to have this year? I mean, we already know that they have a great partnership with EA. They got EA Access. They've got a great partnership with a lot of these other companies, but who is going to be their biggest partner launching Scorpio? Josh, who do you think?
Well, EA has been a huge part for them, and I can remember when they announced like that partnership, what seems like forever ago. And you got to remember, Microsoft's one of the first companies that had a partnership with Disney, and ABC and all these companies when they started launching all these apps and stuff for the Xbox One. I'd be surprised if we see a stronger Disney partnership, because Disney's now, they don't always put games underneath the Disney Interactive title, but they own so much, even in gaming now. So if you could see a partnership with Disney under like the guise of like LucasArts or these companies that are now producing Star Wars themed games, I know a lot of that's still under the EA banner, but and Abby Happy's working on a Star Wars game too, right? And she was big on Titanfall.
Who'd you say?
So isn't it Abby Happy? I might be saying her name wrong.
Amy Hennig?
No, I'm thinking Amy Hennig, but I'm saying Abby Happy. I'm thinking of two different people, so forget about that.
There's the Respawn developer.
Respawn is what I was thinking of. Is Abby? I'm sure I'm butchering it.
I just know the developer of Titanfall.
so I mixed that up, but I mean, even the developers of Titanfall. Remember, Titanfall was a Xbox exclusive for the first year. I think that's the big question, though, is which third-party company is it going to be? Because they're really good at that too. They come out, the amount of content that they unveil that people didn't even know about is astounding. Every year they do it. So maybe we see something with Disney and their companies. Maybe we see something with, unfortunately, we're not going to see it with Kojima's company, which is kind of a bummer, because that would have been a big get. I'll tell you what I don't want to see, though. I don't want to see any more of this timed exclusive content. I want to see an exclusive game, and that's it. I don't want this
You want to see a new exclusive?
Tomb Raider. I don't want this Tomb Raider now and then a year later on PlayStation, or this Destiny 2 crap on PlayStation for a year and then finally coming to Xbox. We need to be past that stuff. I get exclusives. That's why you buy consoles. So come out with an exclusive. Give me a game that I can only get on Xbox, not a game I can get on Xbox a year later. Like, that really bugs me. So I know that's off topic, but my brain doesn't function normally. But back on topic, I guess I would like to see something. I think Disney's the way to go, and they don't necessarily just make content geared towards me. It's a wider audience, but I would like to see them come out and kind of blow the water, blow up everyone's spot and say, the biggest company in the world is now on our side, producing all these games for us that you can only get on Xbox.
Disney Princess Kart Racer?
Hey, someone will buy it.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Someone will buy it.
What about you, Q? What do you say? Who is the big third party?
I think the more realistic option is Ubisoft. I think Ubisoft is on the uptrend. I think one of their latest titles have been really solid. Watch Dogs 2, Wildlands. I mean, Wildlands, people were disappointed until Mass Effect came out, and they were like, "Oh wait, Wildlands is better than we thought."
Oh, man.
Sorry, I'm just dropping bombs everywhere.
Did you read my review?
I'm just basing it on my own experience. I think that there's a lot of momentum picking up with the newest Assassin's Creed. People, the early news is that is people are like, I'm not saying I'm gonna play it. I'm not saying I'm gonna be a big fan of it. I'm just saying that it's picking up momentum. I would love to see a Splinter Cell game come out. Exclusive content on the Xbox. That's a general Ubisoft prediction for me. I think we'll see. We've seen Rainbow Six. We've seen Ghost Recon. What's the missing Tom Clancy franchise? Splinter Cell. It's been a while since I think 2014.
And that
was
was
Blacklist.
Blacklist.
I love Blacklist. Blacklist was solid. I want to see more Splinter Cell. I would love to see Splinter Cell as an Xbox fanboy, as a Tom Clancy fanboy. I would love to see Splinter Cell have. I mean, maybe we won't get exclusivity, but I would love to see a special deal for Xbox gamers. This is the one that is probably not gonna happen. But I think, given the fact that there's already a deal in place between NFL, Xbox, and EA, I don't know if it would be a total freaking bomb on top of the gaming community if there was a Madden deal with the Scorpio. I know Madden usually releases in August, so probably it won't make it in time. Scorpio will be coming in too late. But I don't know if there's a way for a special deal to take place between EA and Xbox related to the NFL, because there's already a deal between the NFL and Xbox from the original Xbox One. I don't know. I feel like there's some foundation already in place between those three corporations, EA, NFL. NFL's not a corporation. Well,
yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, but they're not for profit technically. So
NFL? No, they're totally for profit.
I thought they were a non-profit. Anyway, no, we can look this up later. But I was pretty okay. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that there's a foundation in place between Microsoft, NFL, and EA, and I think there's a lot there there's definitely enough on the ground for a new deal to rise out of that, to launch the Scorpio forward.
I think Mo would love that.
Yeah, it would be Mo's birthday gift. Besides getting a new leg. Oh, sick burn.
Oh, ouch. For me, I love that, by the way. I want to see Splinter Cell. I think that'd be fantastic if we see them. I thought last year we were going to see a Splinter Cell announcement from Ubisoft, but I was surprised we didn't. Man, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think that the big third party for Microsoft this year it's going to be one of two players. It could be EA with one of their games that they're going to make, kind of exclusive for Xbox, and I think it'll be exclusive for Xbox. I think it's going to stay an Xbox exclusive. And if that's the case, I think it's going to be a Star Wars game. You think back to Knights of the Old Republic, that was an Xbox exclusive. If we get something similar to that level on Xbox, it's going to be great, even if it's Xbox One and Windows 10. I think that you get a game to that caliber of Knights of the Old Republic, nobody can complain that it's not going to be on PS3 because it was never on PS3. That was an Xbox only title, Xbox and PC. So I think that's a great thing that they could bring. Give us KOTOR 3 on Xbox Scorpio, be fantastic. However, I think the partnership that could benefit them the most, that I think would benefit them the most, is if they got in cahoots with Rockstar. Rockstar is releasing Red Dead Redemption this year, and if there is an opportunity for them to come in and say, you know what, we need you as a partner. Activision tends to side with PlayStation. We already see that, and we see a lot of these other companies kind of going the PlayStation route. But you take something, you throw some money at Rockstar, have them market Red Dead Redemption with you, or do something that makes it something that you would want to get it on Xbox instead. And I don't think that DLC or exclusive content is necessarily that thing. Maybe it's the 4K 60, right? They can hit 4K 60 on Scorpio, but we just can't do it on PS4 or PS4 Pro. We can do it here. Maybe that's why you want to go get it on an Xbox Scorpio or Xbox platform. But I think that's got to be the big get, is Red Dead Redemption 2 Xbox partnership, something along those lines. I think that'd be fantastic. That or a Star Wars game. Come on, give me a Star Wars game.
To redeem myself quickly, the NFL gave up its nonprofit status 2 years ago, so I apologize.
Okay.
I'm 2 years behind on corporate news. I need to catch up.
You've been busy, all right? You got to pass. All right. So let's move on a little bit. We've talked about, our thoughts on what they can do, but let's get a little more crazy, okay? A couple years ago, when Phil Spencer came out and said, you remember all those great games that you loved on Xbox 360? We noticed a lot of you guys are still loving those games and want to play them again, so here you go. You can play some fantastic games on the Xbox One from the Xbox 360. What is that mic drop moment this year? Last year, it could be that Scorpio was a mic drop moment, but what is that moment this year? Q.
I think I think Halo 5 Guardians is released to PC. Not obviously multi-platform, like you can't play against PC players if you're on the console. But I think right now they already have the Forge mode on PC, and you can play in custom matches with PC players. So I think the PC gets a full Halo launch. And I think Phil Spencer, well, not Phil Spencer, but the 343 lady, I forgot her name. Not Kiki Wolfkill, but the other one. She announces all future Halo games will be on PC from now on. Like PC and Xbox, PC and Xbox from now. So Halo will stop being a console-only exclusive, and it will become a PC and console game from this moment moving forward.
So you think that is their mic drop for this year?
I mean, I think that is what I think is a mic drop that hasn't already been announced. Like, obviously, Scorpio content is a mic drop on its own. But I think, stuff that hasn't been, because 343 released a couple weeks ago. They said we are not going to have Halo 6 at E3 this year, but we do have something special for people. Well, I don't think it's going to be Halo Wars 2. It's not going to be Halo 6. Either they're going to announce a new side, like an ODST kind of thing, like a Halo side game or something along those lines.
We're going to learn Spartan Assault.
Oh, God. It would be also really cool if Sea of Thieves gets announced as a I think there's a lot to build on with being multi-platform, right? Like letting Xbox and PC players interact.
It is. Sea of Thieves is.
It is announced multi-platform? Great. Then, you know what? Mic drop picked up. Yeah, I don't have a lot on this subject. I'm a huge Halo fan. I'm probably the biggest Halo fan I know. JK, maybe. I don't know. And thank you, sir. And I would love to see Halo just pick up some momentum for the next, building up to Halo 6. I think Halo 6 is going to be one of the most beautiful games on the Scorpio. I can't wait to get my hands. I look forward to the day when I'm sitting down playing Halo 6 on my Scorpio. I look forward to that day. I'm very excited for that day to arrive. So
I'm going to dip in and take one of my predictions as this mic drop, because I think it'd be fantastic. I think it'd be awesome. And last year I thought they were going to do it. But this year with Scorpio launching, I think that they say, look, if you get a Scorpio, you'll get this great catalog of original Xbox back-compatible games. And not only will you get to play them in the original format, which doesn't look that great, let's be honest, this day and age, they've built an engine that will up-res them, textures, whatever, to make them look more modern. They won't look fantastic, but they'll look way better. So that's the mic drop moment, right? He comes out there and he says, look, here's Xbox back-compatible games, original Xbox. I can finally play Crimson Skies again. And they say, it'll play great on your Xbox One, but if you have Scorpio, you're going to be able to get this better, enhanced experience. And I think that might be a key thing, is this enhanced experience stuff as we go through with the Scorpio side of things, with being able to get the enhanced textures, no loading, whatever else, make it 60 frames per second, make it fantastic, whatever. It'll be great. So that's kind of dipping into my prediction side of things. But Josh, what's the mic drop?
Well, if it's not a big, giant, crazy console price, which I don't think it's going to be, I don't know. I couldn't tell you specifically. It could be like a exclusive partnership with a giant publisher. That could be the mic drop. That happens, like that whole, and we have one more thing for you, and it's a trailer showing off this crazy, maybe it's like the Madden deal or something like crazy that you would never imagine could happen in gaming. It could be something like that. It could be something as simple as this. I can't remember the name of it. The thing they have running now in the beta, where you,
Game Pass.
Game Pass. So maybe it's something like, as of right now, everyone gets 2 free months of Game Pass, even if you don't have an Xbox Live membership, kind of thing. Could be something like that, because I think I vaguely remember a couple of years ago they did a thing like if you were just a silver member, you could still go on and download a game or some kind of thing that they let you do that on the 360. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like that, because that really like gets people in. You can go play something for free. It makes you more likely to buy it. Maybe it's something more along the lines of like the EA Access, and maybe it's with Ubisoft. Maybe they're like, hey, we got Ubisoft Access now, and we're the only console that has it. So now you can go play all those Assassin's Creeds, or or you can finally play like a Rayman game or whatever. Maybe it's something like that.
like a UB Pass kind of thing, like a
U-Pass?
Something like that.
That'd be a terrible name.
Yeah.
U-Pass.
That sounds horrible.
U-Pass. But maybe something like that. But I don't know. I don't know if they need a mic drop with Scorpio. Like, I'm sure they will have one, but I just don't know if I necessarily.
Can I say what I want really fast in my fiction world where I run Xbox? I want a game called Xbox Champions, where it's like Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, and this
Smash Brothers, basically.
No. But see, they're not fighting each other because that's basically Killer Instinct, right? Like I'm talking about it's like there's like a weird storyline where universes warp amongst each other, and like suddenly like Marcus Phoenix and Master Chief are playing in their own, they're battling side by side against combined Covenant and Horde and Locust. Anyway, I know like I sound like I'm on drugs right now.
No, you want the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but for Star Wars.
Oh my gosh, yes.
For Xbox games.
Xbox Cinematic Gaming Universe.
That would be great. Dude.
That's what I want. Phil Spencer, if you're listening,
hey Phil, I got Q on the phone. He's got a great idea.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
if I had that game, I would probably just I wouldn't buy anything else after that. So
Oh man. We should
terrible
talk about
idea.
that a little more.
Not a terrible idea, to be totally honest with you.
I mean, when you think about what those games have going for them, it's the iconic heroes, right? Like the Master Chief, Cortana, Marcus Phoenix, Baird. Yeah, these iconic heroes that people are attached to. Well, use them for more than just their own single standing games. You know, I don't know. That's just my idea.
Dude, I love it. Yeah, that's fantastic. Great idea. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I do need to be the bearer of bad news. In our live chat, the one and only Chris McCracken of Married to the Games fame, at BreadFan35, has killed my dream of Red Dead Redemption being a Scorpio or Xbox big get this year. He's already confirmed that they are in cahoots with PlayStation. So
cowards.
Yeah. So that means
they drown in their own blood.
The only answer then, the only option that they're going to do is have a Star Wars game, right? So that's what that means.
That's what it means.
Fantastic. I'm good.
All
right. So that leads us into our predictions for this year. So no more than 5, and I've already kind of gone into a couple.
Yeah.
So these can be pie in the sky. These can be things that you think are going to be kind of legit. But these are your predictions that you think you're going to see this year from the entire expo as a whole for Xbox. We already know that we've seen a lot come out of their camp for leading into E3 with Game Pass, with digital returns, and the Scorpio specs have already been revealed. So coming out of E3, what are your up to 5 big predictions? Let's start with you, Josh.
All right. So I already talked a little bit about Rare. So my prediction is they're going to come out on stage in some aspect of maybe not a new IP. The Fable thing isn't crazy, so that wouldn't be a terrible idea.
I'd like to see Fable again. I love that series.
I'm going to combine those two because Fable was one of my maybe unreasonable crazy pie in the sky things. So maybe we'll push Rare and Fable together. I predict. I feel like we talked about it already. I predict we'll just see a little bit of Scorpio, and it's going to focus 90% on games, 5% on services, 5% on Scorpio. I would love to see Pie in the Sky, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter console exclusive. That would be a big get for me. And that's like right off of the Nintendo Shack guys talking about Rogue Squadron, which is one of my favorite games in the Star Wars universe. So
it's on my top 5 list on PlayStationVideoGames.com.
Another crazy thing, maybe a KOTOR 3 console exclusive, or even KOTOR 2 remaster for like $30, because you'd be getting that in a lot of people's hands that have never played it before. Yeah, I can download it on my phone. Why not put it on an Xbox? And then like that could be like the primer to the sequel. Get people playing that game. And then I guess the last thing I would say that's like maybe crazy, maybe not so crazy is the cloud stuff that they talked about forever ago with the Xbox One. I know it's
Cloud Strife?
I know we've talked not Strife. I know we talked about it previously. Logistically, it might not make sense, but I don't pretend to know what goes into everything they're doing. If they can focus more on that cloud gaming again and show off what a game can really do without needing to have a physical copy, I don't think that's out of the question. It might be a little bit out of reach, but I think that could be a mic drop moment where he's like, look what we can do with this cloud gaming. That's just wishful thinking, though. I don't think we'll see anything like that. But that's like 7. So I think I
was going to say that's a hearty list, sir. All right, Q, what you got?
Yes, I think I already dropped a few of what I wanted to say. I don't think if you're not an Xbox fanboy, you don't know how much having Halo moved to PC as well as console, how big of a deal that is. Like that has Halo since Halo 2, I think. Halo has been denied to PC gamers. Like, I mean, it hasn't been a PC thing. Maybe Halo had they stumbled a little bit with Halo 5, not multiplayer wise, but story wise. However, the gaming community is doing well. I think it would be a good boost to the Halo 5 gaming community to just open up to PC and open the floodgates and let the PC gamers jump on that experience on multiplayer, which is solid. So I think that I don't see why at this point, with the way that Xbox is, basically if you buy an Xbox first party game, you also get it on PC. You get the multi copy, right? Where you get it on Xbox and also you get it on PC. At this point, I don't see why not just open the floodgates on Halo and let PC players also jump in on that. I think we'll see a new adventure IP announced. I know Phil Spencer had that interview a few weeks ago where he said adventure games are too expensive and we don't want to invest into that. I think that was him bluffing a little bit. I'm not saying he was lying, but I think he wanted to, take attention away from that element of Xbox to then release a new adventure IP. We had Recore flop, sort of. We had Scalebound canceled, but I think there has to be a new IP somewhere in the works. Maybe it's too early. Like we won't maybe see gaming content, but we maybe will see an early teaser. We'll see. I also feel like the big thing for Xbox is the Game Pass and the idea, this long-term plan that Phil has of gaming as a service provision, right? The idea at the end of the day, we're moving towards, he's looking at Netflix, he's looking at Hulu, he's looking at Crunchyroll, he's looking at...
don't look at Crunchyroll. Look at Netflix or Hulu.
Okay, fine. I've been consuming a lot of Crunchyroll. I've been binge watching Dragon Ball Super lately, so that's why I'm having all these hand gestures because I'm just like fighting. Yeah, I'm fighting all the new bad guys in my mind. But I think he's looking at the rest of the business world and saying, okay, we don't want to betray gamers, but we do want to learn from success stories. We don't want to betray our community, but we do want to figure out what's next, right? So what part of what made Xbox great at the 360 when the 360 came out was that it was able to look ahead and say, okay, what does gaming look like in the next 10 years? Okay, let's go there. So I think what Phil's trying to do now is, okay, what does gaming look like in the next 10 to 15 years? Great, let's go there. Right, make Xbox great again, Josh. Josh just posted on the chat, make Xbox great again. Yeah, so I think he's looking forward. He's looking towards the future and saying, okay, we're not fighting the battle this year or next year. We're fighting the long-term battle for the hearts and minds of gamers. And I think the idea of gaming as a service is huge. And I'm not saying it's gonna work. I'm not saying if you ask me how is he gonna work it out, I don't know right now. But I think there's potential to that, and I think there's a lot there to look at and to research and to analyze and see how can gaming become a service. Will the next Halo be a service? Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea, but I think there's a lot to that. I think Game Pass is just the first step in figuring that out. I'm excited to learn more about Game Pass and see what is Phil thinking about what's the future for Game Pass. So that's what I have. I know that wasn't a lot of predictions, but I think that's really what Phil is thinking about and what he's focusing on late at night as he plays, I don't know, Destiny or whatever he's been playing on Xbox.
As much as a Destiny fan that he is, I'm surprised he couldn't lock down some sort of exclusive content,
Well, none of that is set in stone yet, right? I mean, like at the end of the day, like the full release on Destiny is not it's this week, right? Is this week?
Yeah, it's the 18th. Yeah. We'll find it on the 18th.
No, I'm not crossing my fingers on Bungie. I think there's a lot of I think the relationship between Bungie and Microsoft wasn't the best throughout a lot of Halo's run with Bungie. So I think there's a lot of negative ground for them to get over. But I think there's, look, man, if you want to be the most dominant game out there in consoles and maybe on PC, why not find some kind of deal with the most powerful console in the market? I don't see why there isn't room for PlayStation to have a deal and for Xbox to have maybe its own separate deal. I don't know. I'm not a business guy, but I feel like there's potential for everything.
Mm-hmm. No, don't take any cards off the table. You just never know.
Yeah.
All right. So like I said, I've alluded to some of mine already. So prediction number 1, Star Wars exclusive. Josh has also touched on this. Evidently, we're Star Wars fans over here, and for good reason, because it's fantastic, and we love Star Wars, and we'd love to see a Knights of the Old Republic come out, or an XP versus TIE Fighter, or something. I would just love to see, an Xbox exclusive Star Wars game would make my day. Would make my year. I think we're going to get a blast from the past. Kind of alluded to this a little bit before, whether it be Splinter Cell is not really too far in the past yet, but Crimson Skies, Fable, Mech Warrior, Mech Assault, Brute Force, something from the good old days. Subs the Zombie coming back, right?
No Brute Force. You are crazy.
Give us, I think that we get something from the past. Not rare replay type of thing, and not like an 8-bit type thing, but they revive
like an Army of Two sequel.
What's that? Oh yeah, that could be. But it's one of those things where there's a rich catalog in the history of Xbox that they could pull from, or in the Microsoft in general. What's weird is we haven't seen a flight simulator game in forever. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal now, but if you're playing in 60 frames per second in 4K, maybe it'd be kind of cool to fly a plane around. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I think it'd be kind of cool. But I think also we're going to see a huge expansion into this Windows 10 kind of Xbox Play Anywhere space. When you put out the most powerful console that can play games and make them look great, you're also going to want to be able to say, hey, play this on your PC too. Do crossplay between these two great platforms on your 70-inch TV or whatever you have down here in 4K, and on your PC right there that's going to be able to play, just as good maybe. And they're going to expand it out because I know Shadow of War is coming out and it's an Xbox Play Anywhere title. So it's not an exclusive. It's coming out as a Xbox Play Anywhere title. To this date, it's just been Xbox exclusives. I think. Pretty sure that's true. Don't check me on that. But I do know that is a pretty big thing for, a third-party developer, which, by the way, is that WB Games? Maybe that's their big get for this year, right? WB Games with Shadow of War. But they get that. They get that great expansion into the Xbox Play Anywhere with this huge push into cross-platform. Because with Windows 10, everybody is an Xbox gamer that has Windows 10. That's a huge minefield. I can open up my Xbox app right now and start a party chat with people who are on Xbox One, and we can play Forza Horizon 3 together, and you don't know any different. So being able to do that seamlessly and pull in that Windows 10 install base, if you take into account Xbox One and Windows 10, Xbox gamers outweigh PlayStation 4 gamers by a mile. So they got to tap into that base, build that cross-platform, and the games will sell themselves because you'll be able to play with your friends on PC. You'll have the best experience on your PC because you have the great gaming rig or because you're on Scorpio. That's how they got to, pull in.
You mean the Omnibox? Sorry.
The Omnibox, yes. Or the signature.
Right.
The other thing I kind of touched on, I think this would be huge, is original backwards compatible Xbox games. I think they put it in as Game Pass only, maybe. I don't know how the licensing would actually work on that, if you can actually buy those titles digitally anymore. But they maybe make it an Xbox Game Pass thing where it's like, great, you have that Game Pass, you now have access to all these original Xbox games. If you have Scorpio, they're going to look even better, with that enhancement feature. I think that'd be a great option for them and a great avenue that they can get a lot of goodwill. Us gamers who have been on Xbox ecosystem forever would appreciate it. It'd be great. And finally, Scorpio based. Scorpio, or the Oxbox, is going to
It's the Ox.
the Ox.
The Ox, the workhorse, man. Come on.
Is going to be fully compatible to Xbox One games. We know this already. We know that. However, they're also going to say a couple words that are going to get everybody wondering and thinking. And those two words are future proof.
Boom.
So they say that this is the next great thing. This is going to be the ultimate Xbox One experience, the ultimate console right now to date. It's future proof. They're not gonna expand on that at any. I don't think they're gonna expand on it. They're just gonna drop those two words, and then we're gonna be wondering, does that mean that this is the step into the next generation? Does that mean that if you have a Scorpio, there's gonna be Scorpio games coming down the pipe? So that'd be interesting. I think that that could be a part of it. And along with Scorpio, everything that's not running on a PC that we see marketing content for or any sort of live demos is going to be running on a Scorpio or an Ox. Because it's going to look the best. It's going to play fantastic. And Microsoft is going to want to pump this thing up as much as they can and get it on every third-party stage. They're going to show off the new Ubisoft titles, the new EA titles, everything on the new Xbox, because that's how they're going to get that market share. They're going to come in and be like, look, if you want to show this content, look how great it's going to look over here. Look how stunning we can render these graphics for you. Show it on our box. And it'll be hard-pressed not to, right? Mm-hmm. So I think those are my 5 big predictions for the Xbox conference and E3 festivities in general. Before we wrap up, gentlemen, any final thoughts on Xbox as we move into our wrap up?
I think personally that at this point in the history in the life of the Xbox One, and at this point in the history of the Xbox brand, period, I think Phil Spencer has earned the respect of the gaming community. I think he's earned the respect of the gamers. He's earned the respect of even hopefully even those on the corporate level. And I think at this point he's as much part of the brand as other elements of the Xbox. Phil Spencer, he's out there on Twitter. If you tweet him enough times, he'll retweet you or he'll even reply. I mean, he's replied to me like at least 2 or 3 times on separate occasions. He is, if you log in your Xbox and you add him on Xbox, you can see him playing almost every night. He's on his Xbox at home. That's not his office console. That's his home console. He only uses the dev kit in the office. He has his own Xbox at home which he logs into, and he's always playing something every night. He communicates with. I mean, so I feel like at the end of the day, what I really want, and what would really, really earn my respect is I want this to be a Phil-led presentation, and I don't want it to be just Phil at the beginning and Phil at the end. I want Phil to be a part of the presentation every step of the way, because I think at this point he is part of the brand. He's part of what Xbox represents. He is the corporate leader who is also a gamer. And I think the fans love him, and I think him being on stage throughout the conference will help deliver the message that Xbox hopes to deliver for the next year.
Mm-hmm. So, and I love that too. I mean, I'm glad that you mentioned that Phil is a gamer, right? You look at the public faces of PlayStation and of Nintendo. Yeah, they're good public speakers, but maybe they aren't actually gamers. But Phil is a proven gamer. And he's not just a businessman. He's not just there to hype up a game. He is a gamer at heart, and that's what he wants to do, is be a gamer and play at the best console or location possible, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a great point. What do you got, Josh?
I got a dad joke.
Oh.
He wants him to fill in the gaps.
Hey, Kevin, if you can, we need you to put a little right there.
It's in my DNA now. I can't avoid it. I typed it in the chat just because I didn't want to say it, but I kind of had to say it.
Wow, that's terrible.
We're talking about the state of Microsoft and Xbox right now. Is that what we're talking about? I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that you said at the beginning, we're in a position poised to to overtake the gaming landscape and to make another mark. But right now, you can't deny it. If you're a Microsoft boy right now, it's tough. Like you were not winning, and I mean we never really been winning the console war sales wise, but we've always felt like, at least speaking for myself, that we've been winning content wise. I never really felt like we've gone through a time that I didn't have an awesome first party game I was playing, and right now I just don't. Um, I use my Xbox every day, but I'm watching Netflix and I'm on Hulu. I'm not necessarily playing games. I will say, excuse me, Microsoft's been killing it as far as subscription content goes with their Games Gold. Consistently, not that it's a competition, but putting out better games or games earlier than PlayStation has been for their subscription service games. So I think it would be really cool if they came out, maybe another Microsoft movements like, hey, we're going to give you 3 Xbox One games now with Games of Gold or something crazy like that. Who knows? I mean, obviously, I don't have to think it. Our conversation is going to be different in a month about where we're going and what we're looking at. So I think right now we just kind of need to focus on our release calendar for the next month. You know, what's coming out, what can we play? I don't think it's necessarily about exclusives at this point. We're just kind of looking at stuff coming out on all consoles. And I think we need to be fortunate for what we have, because we have great gaming entertainment console right now. Just because we don't have first party content currently doesn't mean
that's not true though.
Coming. Well, we do. You're right. We do have it.
Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels is the best thing ever.
You're right. And I watched your stream and it looks awesome and I can't wait to get it. But I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't feel it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just don't feel like it's there. Because you're right. Forza Horizon 3, the Hot Wheels expansion looks awesome. Gears of War 4, I don't know why, it just didn't do it for me, and that's my own issue. Halo 5, I'm a story guy, so Halo 5 it missed the mark for me story wise. But I get why Q loves it, because the multiplayer is fantastic. It's just not what so for me, it's just been a little, like, I was disappointed with ReCore. It really let me down, and I was really looking forward to Microsoft having another game like that. So let's hope Phil's was maybe putting some smoke out, and as they're actually going to drop an adventure game, because I think that Microsoft's overdue for a good big Fable style adventure game. Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, we're looking good. I'm not worried. It's going to always be my first console choice. Whenever I have to pick between 2 games that are on the consoles, 90% of the time I'm still going with Xbox. They have the best controller on the market. Depending on your opinion on their operating system at the moment, their operating systems are fluid and innovative, and they always look great. And people need to get on board with this Beam thing, because
yes,
they have never made it more easy to stream gaming. So I think maybe they focused a little bit on that, because I think it kind of just dropped. I don't think that people know enough about it to use it.
Well, that's okay. So that's why they come and check out our content over at Beam, because we're putting it out. Nobody else is. Nobody knows how to.
Yeah. So I mean, we still have an embarrassment of riches. So I think with the price of the Xbox One S and potentially the Scorpio, it's never been a better time to be an Xbox fan. You know, the games are there.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Those are my 15 cents.
You were paid. So that kind of wraps us up for our prediction show. I think we've talked ad nauseum about what we want to see, what we think they're going to do. There's only so much predictions that you can do. I do think that we're gonna be blown away. There's going to be something that we aren't expecting that they drop, and just like I said, read the tea leaves going into this. The digital refunds, the Xbox Game Pass, the Hot Wheels DLC out of nowhere. That's fantastic. That's literally a 10 if I was to rate it. It's a 10 out of 10 content. So they've got a great track record, pardon the pun, going into
Oh boy. There's your dad joke for the day.
I got one. So I'm excited for what they're going to bring. They're going to have something that is totally unexpected, but totally makes sense. And that's what I'm excited for. So to wrap up for this evening, or whenever you're listening or watching this, hi, we're live on YouTube right now. Well, you can always subscribe and get notifications of when we do go live. So that way, when we do our great post-conference discussions, you'll be the first to know and be able to hop in the live broadcast, correct us when we're wrong, heckle us, and also get into good conversations. So that brings me to what we're going to be doing this week. So as you are releasing this, I think this is going to release on the 22nd, 21st, somewhere around there.
21st.
So the week of the 21st through 27th, I have dubbed Empire Week. So we will be posting content every day to represent the Empire, to represent the Xbox. And that's going to include, ladies and gentlemen, our top 25 Xbox One games, daily articles on the site, and this fantastic podcast. You know, it's fantastic. So good. It's the
So
greatest
good.
podcast ever. It's
Great.
huge.
Best words, best predictions ever.
And obviously, as we go into E3, we're going to be live tweeting on these conferences. We're going to have live discussions going on. We're going to have pretty much immediate post shows. It's going to be a great E3 for us here. This is going to be our second go around. I think this time we've got kind of an understanding of what we're going to want to do. The E3 press conference for Microsoft is on Sunday, June 11th. So hopefully, shortly thereafter, the Empire can convene yet again and talk about the fantastic announcement of the Star Wars exclusive that's coming to Xbox One Scorpio.
Yeah, and I'll be live chatting for PSVG on that Sunday. So if you guys want to chat about what's going on and what's unveiled, I'll be up. I'm going to say it's on YouTube, but we'll figure it out. But I'll be live chatting that whole thing. So I'd love to hear what you guys think.
Yeah. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, because that's where we'll be posting stuff. Check the site daily, playsomevideogames.com. And as I mentioned before, subscribe to this here YouTube channel so you can see when we go live and when we're talking about things. Oh, man. This wasn't a long show, but it felt like I think we accomplished everything we wanted to set out to do today. Is that right, guys?
Yeah, I agree.
What
The prediction ones are tough. I mean, I'm super excited to get into this after the event, because we'll definitely run long on that. But yeah, the prediction ones are tough, and we toe that line of not wanting to repeat ourselves too much or give people stuff that they already know. So it can be short. I mean, we can't go on. I'm not throwing shade at anyone, but we can't go on as long as those Nintendo guys. They got a lot of content to talk about. It was a great podcast, but it's an exciting time for them, so they had a lot more to talk about. We'll be able to double that, I bet, when we do our E3 wrap up.
All right. So what do you guys have to plug? Where can people follow you? Q.
You can follow me at Unrated Podcast. Oh, what is Unrated Podcast? Great question. Devin and I have joined forces across platforms, Devin on PlayStation and myself on the Xbox, to bring the late night elements of gaming podcasting. What is late night elements of gaming podcasting? I don't know. I just made that up, but you can find us on the iTunes store. Sorry.
It's the Cinemax of PSVG.
You can find Unrated Podcast on the iTunes store for a little touch of late night flavor with Devin and myself. Devin and I.
I don't know if late night flavor is better.
Don't pay too much attention to the content of my speech. Just listen to my heart. You know, the key takeaway is find me on Twitter at Unrated Podcast, and also find our podcast on Unrated Podcast on iTunes and Google Play. That is all. Thank you for making that more complicated than it had to be.
By the way, I love your shirt.
Thank you. It was a gift from my mom. I love Star Wars, and she got me this amazing Star Wars shirt.
Great. Love it. Josh, where can people find you?
You can find me on Josh Bones on Twitter. You can find my Switch code somewhere. It's SW15 numbers. You can look that one up. I'm on Xbox and PlayStation as Why So Serious, SIRRIUS. Yeah, and we kind of talked about this a little while ago. Kyle and I and Kevin were trying to get some more board gaming content out. A couple of podcasts ago, I said, tweet me if you guys are interested or not. We get 0 tweets. So if you're listening and you're interested in board gaming at all and you want to hear any content about it, please tweet me or tweet the guys, just so I know that there's an interest out there.
By the way, Josh, on that note, I'm playing Star Wars Imperial Assault on Wednesday night with some friends.
Nice.
Really
Good.
excited.
I like to hear that. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there. Yeah. We'll talk about it more down the line. We got some good board gaming stuff coming up. So keep your eyes and ears out for that.
Nice. And obviously, you can find me at Voiced by Nathan. I am on the Twitters there. And I'm on Xbox at Spider Jedi. You can find my podcast that I do separately at Entertaining Pod or at that'sentertaining.net. Search That's Entertaining on all the podcast places for discussions about movies and things. I just realized, you guys, this is episode 77 of the Play Some Video Games podcast, which, by the way, is great that the Empire is featured this week because 1977 is when we got the first episode of Star Wars.
Nice.
Wow.
That can't be a coincidence.
Nope.
The Force has guided us here.
Star Wars exclusive.
That's right. Come on. It'd be so good. Dude, if there's a Star Wars exclusive game, I will be streaming everything out of that game and like doing the Empire voice and every other voice that I know that's Star Wars related.
Would you be equally excited if it was like Star Wars pod racing? Exclusive on
Dude,
Xbox?
that would be even better because then you could just be super silly when you're doing. It'd be perfect for streaming.
Okay, that's fair.
So good.
All right, that's fine. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, my heart's at like Knights or something like that. Like, give me a good story DLC or story game.
What about the Star Wars Connect game?
Oh God. All right, that's the end of the show.
You can find the show at wherever we're at. You can find us on iTunes, Twitter, all that good stuff. You can go to the website, playsomevideogames.com. Check out our reviews and news over there. As mentioned before, Empire Week is going to be a great week for Xbox fans to come by. Check out our articles, our opinion pieces that we're going to be having, even from people that are outside the Empire. I got some commitments from people who are on the island, actually, to write an article for the Xbox Empire Week. You can send us emails, ladies and gentlemen. You can. Do you know how to send an email? Because tweets are 140 characters. Things are limited sometimes. You can't get all the words out that you want to. But you can send us an email and send as many words as you'd like at podcast@playsomevideogames.com. We'd love to hear what you think of this episode, of all of our episodes, except for the Nintendo Shack episodes. Just don't say anything about those. They don't exist. And, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter at PSVG. Like us on Facebook. All that jazz. YouTube, Google Circles, Friendster. MySpace. I think you're.
There you go. You got the MySpace.
And coming next week, the PSVG Tinder account.
Swipe up.
Left.
All right. We're never going to be allowed to do another show again.
Hey, this is what happens when Kevin's away, right? I mean, we just kind of do our own thing.
Oh, we got to say Madden for Coach. Madden.
Of course, Madden. And Coach Mo, we miss you. This one's for you, buddy. This is water.
Okay. He's still alive.
Cheers. He's still alive, but he may not be by tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for listening. And Kevin says something, but I'm not going to say it. So I'm going to throw it over to Q. Close us out.
Never stop gaming.
I like that. It's awesome.